4.1, we looked at representing fractions that were less than 1, that were greater than 100, and then that were fractional percentages. So this one, for example, right, we looked at the 13 and the 32. So we said 13, okay, that's the number of whole squares that I need to color. Okay, so this is a 10 by 10 or 100 square grid that helps us represent percentages. And I need to color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 whole squares for sure. Right? So this would be whole squares colored in. Okay, so I'm being a little bit quick with this, but you want to make sure that the whole square will be colored in. Now, once I do that, I need to look at this 0.32%. Okay, so what's left is whatever is here after that decimal point. So when we want to think of everything after that decimal point, okay, we're working within one teeny tiny square after that. Okay, so it's no longer the whole big grid, but we're going to be working within just one teeny tiny square. Okay? And now if I zoom in like a camera on that one teeny tiny square, okay, it's going to look like this, roughly. It's going to look like this. And I want to know, okay, how do I represent a fraction? Okay, a fractional percent. So all I've left is that 0.32%. Okay, that's left. So anytime you have a number that's after the decimal, you're going to put that number over 100. So it's 32 over 100. So really, what it's telling me is that this tiny square here, I should split into 100 pieces and color in 32 of them. But we learned in class that we can do this a little bit better. So 32 over 100, okay, we can actually reduce this and make our lives a little bit easier. So I can reduce the top and the bottom by 2, which is going to give me 16 over 15. Okay, and again, I can divide top and bottom by 2 again. Oops. Right, so we get 8 over 25. And so now looking at this final answer, okay, I'm done. That's the fraction that I need to represent in that one teeny tiny square. Okay, that's the fractional percentage. So now when I go up, I need to represent 8 out of 25. So I'm going to split this square up into 25. Okay, so it's 25 pieces. And I'm going to color in 8 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, colored in 8. So on top of the 13 holes that I had colored here, okay, I also colored in a fraction of this one teeny tiny cube, okay, and I colored in 8 out of 25 pieces. So 8 out of 25 pieces represents, okay, that fraction represents whatever's left over, okay, after the decimal. So we want to make sure that we're very clear, okay, that percentages are out of 100. So that's why we used our hundreds grid. Okay. Now what made this question simple is that fact that it was a fractional percentage, okay, I had some holes. For example, if we got a new slide, all right, and we have a new table. All right, let's make a new one. And let's add, again, a 10 by 10 table. 10 by 10. All right, but I'm asked to represent on this table 0.6%. Okay, but what I look at is the fact that there is 0 whole squares colored in here. Okay, that's the number of whole squares. Okay? Then I look after that decimal. Okay, I'm working within one teeny tiny square. Okay? And then I put this over 100. All right, whatever's after that decimal point here, okay, it's over 100. But here, a lot of people make the mistake and say this is 6 over 100. But 0.06%, okay, there'd be 0 whole squares. This would mean there was 6 over 100 squares. here, there's a little imaginary zero there that makes it 60 over 100. Right? And that's an important difference to make. And then, of course, if we simplify this question further, right, we could divide them by 20 to get 3 over 5. Right? So I'd split this square up into 5 pieces. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And I'd color in 3 of those 5. Okay? That's a little hard to see. That's why it helps to zoom. Okay? To zoom in on that one tiny square and see I split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I color in 1, 2, 3 of them. Okay? And the last one that we talked about was what if I have something like 312%? What do we do then? Okay? This is greater than 100%, which means, okay, I need more than one grid. Okay? 312 over 100. Okay? That's how we represent this percentages. Okay? Percentages are always out of 100. Okay? To start us off, and then we can simplify from here. But what we notice, all right, this can actually be turned into a mixed fraction. Okay? So 100 fits into 312 3 times. All right? With 12 out of 100 left over. Okay? What that big mixed number here is telling us is this 3, okay? That's whole grids that I need to color in. All right? And then here, I would need one more grid and I would color in 12 pieces. Okay? So this is no longer fractional, all right? But I need whole grids. So if we were drawing this, roughly, I'd have a whole grid colored in, I'd have another whole 100 grids colored in, another whole 100 grids colored in, and then I'd have 12 pieces, 3, 6, 10, and I'd color in 10 and 2 more pieces, and I'd color in 2. Okay, and that would represent 312%.